Hello, you're welcome back from that short break. And just like I said before the break, we'll be talking about the depths of CNG in Nigeria with Powergas Africa. And of course, I'm on set with two wonderful gentlemen, Mr. ABIODUN and Mr. KETAN. You're welcome on show, please.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mr. KETAN.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like to begin with Mr. ABIODUN. Let's talk about Powergas and your efforts in complementing the CNG drive in Nigeria. Of course, CNG is the new bride of the federal government today. So how is Powergas complementing the CNG drive of the federal government?
So thank you very much. So like you rightly said, CNG is the new bride, is the toast, is the in thing right now, in our industry. We've come from a situation where the fuel subsidy was removed. It was at the instance of the president, that we be able to adjust and to alleviate, the sufferings of the Nigerians. And of course, the most viable option in the room was, of course, when you take away subsidy, you introduce alternative power, for vehicles, for industries, and that was where CNG was bettered. Interestingly, we have been, as Powergas, we've been at the forefront of CNG deployment and utilization in the country. It's been over 13 years of doing CNG business in Nigeria. We greatly complement the efforts of the federal government and particularly the initiatives that bother on, deploying and using CNG as an alternative fuel. Our mantra as a company is to promote clean fuel and clean energy. And interestingly, even though, CNG is a byproduct of the same hydrocarbons, that we are shying away from, we are at a point where, we promote the utilization of cleaner fuels, being in this case gas, as against the dirtier options like PMS and diesel. The government initiative currently, there are a couple of them, particularly in the gas space. There is the Decade of Gas, and there is currently run by, our veterans in the industry, as well as, the current presidential initiative on CNG, which specifically speaks to, auto CNG deployments and how, like we mentioned at the beginning of this program, we are using that opportunity, to introduce CNG into the market. Powergas has been at the forefront, like I said, of deploying CNG, and every effort of the government towards its promotion, utilization, and deployment, we are very, very aligned with it, and we are abreast of it.
Mr. KETAN, let's talk about Powergas now. What does Powergas represent?
Basically, we are a company which bridges the gap. We make a virtual pipeline to supply gas to customers that require the gas. And today, if you look at the price of operating a plant where the electricity is not very stable, the price of diesel has gone up tremendously. The only alternate is to go on gas. So we set up a virtual pipeline, take the gas to customers that are away from the pipeline or require CNG. We have 5 compression plants in Nigeria, and so therefore the 5 compression plants assure that we have a very, very good uptime, because we can cover customers from different angles where required. Our uptime has always been very close to 99-100%, and the only times, we have, even if we do have a problem at one of our plants, we can always back it up from our other alternate plants which are situated close by.
I'll come back to you, Mr. ABIODUN. I mean, CNG everywhere today in Nigeria is CNG. But in your mind, do you think CNG is a viable source of power or energy in the power and transport sector in Nigeria? I mean, how reliable do you think CNG will thrive in Nigeria?
So, as a company, as Powergas, we very, very believe in the idea that CNG can actually take over, can complement, particularly in our climate like this, where we have a multiple energy mix. CNG has always been known to be greener. It's a sustainable product. If you think about it, we have abundance of natural gas in the country, and historically we've always, flared our gas. We've always, re-injected gas. Gas has always been, somewhat of a byproduct. But at this time, it's interesting that we're at a point where, we are actually able to contain that gas and use that gas to further develop, our country. Beyond the glaring advantages of CNG over white products. Thank you. One of them is the fact that it's cheaper. If you think about it, it is well documented that for a 400-kilometer journey, for example, if you were to consume either diesel or PMS, and you spend an average of about, let's say 30,000 naira, the equivalent of that journey on a CNG vehicle is about maybe 6,000 naira. So the differential is well over 50%. The ROI also on investing on the conversion would outpay itself as quickly as in weeks or even months, depending on the profile of the car user. So CNG happily and readily can complement our transport sector because it's cheaper, it's cleaner, it's readily available. We also have capacity because as a company, we have, like my colleague had said, we have 4 facilities spread in 3 geopolitical zones in country with a total of almost of about 25 million scuff, per day. And with that, we are also looking to collaborate with the likes of IPMAN, and that's why we are on the show today, such that we can readily have CNG available in as many filling stations, because that signage readily creates that avenue for CNG to be deployed even further, as against if we had to start developing daughter stations all over the country. Our leaders in the industry have always said it, that there are ready-made filling stations, both the ones in use and the ones that are out of order, that will readily be retooled to be able to accommodate dispensing to our customers. So we see it as a viable alternative for transportation, definitely, because it's cheaper, it's cleaner, the infrastructure exists, and we also are very grateful for government thus far, not only for encouraging the initiative, but providing, the framework which makes it available for us to be able to meet the needs of our consumers, our customers, and even the nation at large.
In terms of collaborating with IPMAN and Powergas to ensure the successful delivery of CNG in Nigeria, what are those indices you are looking at Powergas now? So
at Powergas, IPMAN is the most important channel, of course, after the policies, the framework has been
IPMAN is the most important channel.
The most important channel, of course, like I said, after government has created the framework and created the environment, because like I explained, IPMAN alone represents access to the teeming consumers and the populations that actually need the product. So for us, this is the kind of partnership, the kind of leverage that we're looking for. We want to continue to engage some more to see how, we'll be able to deliver from our own end, how this solution can trickle down to everybody.
In all of this, tell us, how reliable are your CNG centers? Because Nigerians want to know about reliability. When we're talking about CNG, everyone wants to patronize CNG, everyone wants to use CNG, but they want to be rest assured that whatever they're patronizing is reliable. So how reliable are your CNG stations?
Yeah, you see, the thing is, in most of these stations, we are using, we're getting the gas from the, directly from the wellhead. So basically, we are not relying on pipeline and all that for some of our stations. So therefore, we have an uptime, a very, very high uptime. Like I told you earlier, 99-100% uptime. And then in case we have a problem in any of the stations, our other stations are so close by that, our value chain doesn't break. We maintain our chain by either bringing it from the same station or from one of our alternate stations. That's the reason we have so many mother stations in Nigeria.
Amazing. I'm sure you've heard it all from Mr. KETAN and Mr. ABIODUN now. Of course, Mr. KETAN is head of commercial and Mr. ABIODUN is the head of strategy. Am I right? Now, this is IPMAN today. You've heard it all. Powergas is doing quite enormously well in ensuring the successful drive of CNG in Nigeria. You might want to go check their website and see more of what they're doing. This is IPMAN today. I'll be back right after this short break. Don't touch your remote.